Welcome back to Will, A Wonderful World. Last time, Alicia found herself kidnapped again. And Gyeongmin and Baekya are kind of stuck in a situation where either way, Baekya has to watch someone die. Life's not really going so great for Baekya. But we were stuck without any way to solve their problems. However, we did get 2 new letters from Lee Wen and Carlos. And these are connected. Maybe they'll give us a hint as to how to fix the problems of our cops. And it's been a while since we've met with Lee Wen, so let's start with her. The simulation exams were right around the corner. Everyone was busy preparing for it today. Mr. Wen hadn't mentioned anything about canceling the class, however. Besides, I was still his assistant to the art class, so I went along. However, the room was empty. There was no one there, not even Mr. Wen. I felt a little disappointed. Just when I was wondering whether I should go back and study for the exam. Sit down. Time for class. Mr. Wen walked past me, took off his coat, and laid it on the back of a chair near me. Why are you the only one here? It's the simulation exams tomorrow. Everyone's freaking out about them. I grabbed a chair and sat down. Mr. Wen seemed a little unhappy. Was he going to cancel the class today? I suppose that I should get ready to go back and study too. What would you like to draw today? Mr. Wen abruptly asked. What would I like to draw? It surprised me that I was hearing this question coming out of his mouth. Something more difficult? I said, hoping that it would make me appear more motivated. Then draw me. But you would have to pose for a long time. That's too much for me to ask. It's called taking a photo. I honestly didn't want to do that. If I messed it up, when I messed it up, he was going to tear me, not the drawing, into pieces. Don't overthink it. Mr. Wen took out his kit, set up the easel, and continued. I'll do a sketch too. I'll draw you. After making sure that my ears weren't lying to me, I sprung up from my chair. Wait! Let me go and change first. I sprinted out of the classroom. I was still sweaty and smelly from playing tennis earlier, and I was wearing a sports jacket that was one size too large because I ordered the wrong one. It would be so embarrassing to be drawn like this. Furthermore, the more I thought about it, the more I felt like this was some sort of trap. If I drew him badly, no, not if, when, with his temper, he would almost certainly not let me off the hook easily. Well, I felt like I had turned into a dried fish on a cutting board, waiting to be cut up. I opened the locker and picked out the dress that Jing had bought when it was on sale a while ago. She had bought 2 of them and given me one as a present. I'd never tried it on before. My school uniform was still drying off at home after laundry day yesterday, so this would have to do for now. I was wondering about the school uniform. I put the dress on. It fit well, size-wise, but maybe because it hadn't been washed, I felt a weird itching once I put it on. Mr. Wen showed no reaction to my new outfit. And so we began our sketching practice. Drawing a portrait was so hard, and my back being itchy kept distracting me. And by the time my bell rang, I had barely drawn a rough draft. Mr. Wen put away his sketch, yet he didn't ask to see mine either. He was about to leave the classroom when he stopped at the door. He looked at me and opened his mouth. He looked like he was going to say something, but he didn't. Eventually, he left with a look of disappointment on his face. What the hell was wrong with him? What did I do to him this time? Having played lots of dating sims, I can say it's because he does not care about charisma. And so by changing into a dress because you thought it would make you look better in the sketch, you showed a lack of dedication to art. And he is disappointed in your lack of motivation, which was exactly the opposite of what you were hoping for. Probably. Probably how we're gonna fix this is by making sure she doesn't put the dress on or whatever. Because Carlos's letter was titled Pretty Quote-Unquote Girl. So let's go take a look. I brought Ye to the auction house. She was still burning up and barely conscious. The people who kidnapped Alicia took her back to an auction house. Carlos, have you joined up with the gang that kidnapped your sister? I handed her to the boss there, a middle-aged fat man named Lucky Dao, who had a mouthful of gold teeth. Usually when the gang mentioned taking care of someone, without additional instructions, it meant to bring the girls to the auction house. Basically, I was only asked to do the legwork. As for the girls who had been taken care of, they had probably all been sold to people abroad. I had heard rumors that besides the legitimate auctions, the house conducted illegal ones in secret too. There were many kinds of outlandish merchandise in this building, and that included humans. I know something that Carlos has been very adamant against is doing quote-unquote wrong. But man, he really should have gone to school because no one ever taught him the meaning of aiding and abetting, huh? Just as I was about to leave, I couldn't control my curiosity anymore. I asked the guy at the front desk, "Hey man, where do these pretty girls get sold to?" The guy put down the stainless steel mug in his hand. "People brought here by the Black Dragon Gang? Well, those girls are usually just sent to Southeast Asia." Southeast Asia? Why there? Are they sent to be housemates? Oh, Carlos, you poor unfortunate soul. Are you stupid or something? Housemates? The gang always told us that these girls are sent to become human sticks. Have you ever seen a freak show? They have no tongues, eyes, arms, or legs. They have nothing but their torsos left, and they're locked in a cage. Wait, what? Do I want to click that dictionary entry? Oh good, there's no picture this time. Human sticks, an extreme form of torture from ancient China, which was said to be used on concubines by the wife. According to records, after Emperor Gaozu of Han died, his queen ordered his favorite concubine to be turned into a renzi, aka a human stick. During the Tang Dynasty, Empress consort Wu had done the same to a rival concubine before she became empress. There was a saying at the time, "You might be high at the top one day, but you could fall to the bottom as a human stick." In modern society, there are still criminal rings that kidnap women and children, turn them into human sticks, and sell them to beggar organizations or freak show circuses. It is extremely barbaric. No kidding! Well, today I learned. I almost threw up. This was the first time I had ever heard the phrase human sticks, and I eventually figured out what it meant based on his descriptions. I would rather die than live like that. As a Catholic, I had always been taught to do good deeds so that I could be absolved of my sins and go to heaven. After joining the gang, I had done many bad things. But I could never be involved in something so evil. No, I couldn't just let Ye suffer like this. Damn it! If only I hadn't brought her here. These people would never willingly let her go now. I had to get her out of here, and then try to explain to Mr. Kwan. Hey! I just remembered. Mr. Kwan wanted me to tell the girl something. What for? She's on the 4th floor. Make it quick. The front desk guy picked up today's Mingpao newspaper and did not look up again. I'm still very disappointed that I did not get a dictionary entry for the frozen sperm of dead movie stars. Mingpao is a Chinese language newspaper. Wait. No. Hey. Wait, we're not done with that yet. We'll go back to it later. Or actually... yeah, we'll go back to it later. As I was climbing the stairs, I thought that I heard people crying. Were those the girls that were going to be sold? A strange thought suddenly hit me. Could it be possible that Alicia had also been sold here? Just like these unfortunate people? The thought had come out of nowhere, but I felt extremely unsettled. Ye had been locked in a room at the end of the 4th floor. The guard had stepped away for a moment. Her entire body had been burning up. I woke her up and helped her into my own clothes, shorts, and shoes. I kept reminding her to be careful while we snuck out of the building. Poor girl. With a fever like this, she would probably die on the way to Southeast Asia if I didn't help her. I thought she was ready to go when she turned around and hugged me. Did I forget something? Oh, right! I pulled the brim hat on my head off and put it on her almost bald head, which had been shaved by Mr. Kwan. It was a real shame that he had done that to her. She looked really pretty with her long hair. Ye tried her best, got herself together, and left the room. Well, now was the difficult part. The auction house was quite big. Not only would it take a while to exit the building, even if she got out, the guards could easily catch up to her while she was still nearby. I had to get her more time to escape. I scoured the room. I couldn't find anything I could wear. Nothing but a long wig. I'd never seen a wig before. I found it a little amusing. But there weren't any clothes. I couldn't just be naked, could I? I picked up her dress. The dress ripped in the back. I sat down with my back towards the door. I loosened the hair and let it down. I sat down with nothing but my boxer shorts on. I tried my best to keep calm. There was no other way. The dress ripped apart the moment I tried to put my legs in. Why did I even try it? I knew it wouldn't fit. I should have kept it intact as a memento. What an idiot I was. I heard footsteps getting closer and closer to the door. I swallowed nervously. I saw the guard's shocked expression through the small window on the door. I heard him scream. Then I heard the alarms. Ye had not been able to leave the building yet, and she was soon brought back. I was thrown out onto the street with nothing but my boxer shorts. Damn it! I couldn't just do nothing and let Ye be sent to a living hell? Lord, please guide me. Alright, well the key points in both of these are the dresses. I understand doing what you need to live. I am, though, quickly losing patience for Carlos. And his, I'm a good boy. Even though he admits he's done a lot of bad things since coming to Hong Kong. Like his, I'm ignorant and I knew nothing. Anyway, let's see that dictionary entry one more time. Human stick. None of these are nice. Also, why is this one missing? I wonder why that one's missing. Ming Pao is a Chinese language newspaper in Hong Kong, established on May 20th, 1959 by Louis Cha and Shen Pao Sing. The paper covers local issues in Hong Kong, as well as in mainland China and international affairs. The paper's supplement, Century, is among the standouts in Hong Kong newspapers, and mainly focuses on discussions of the arts, literature, and political columns. The main demographic of its readership are middle-class families, professionals, and executives, and is considered a signature newspaper for the educated elite. However, some people also regard it as a trademark for pretentiousness. That sounds a lot like the New York Times. Just saying. Alright, let's solve these problems. It seems like either way Li Wen's gonna have to wear the dress. But if she's not distracted by the dress because it ripped, then she's got the presence of mind to cover her back and like cover her back, then maybe she'll be okay. And meanwhile, Carlos can probably distract them by pretending to be Ye. And acting like she's still in the cell. So that's why he's hiding his face from the door. The dress was really tight. Oh! No wonder it's tight. I looked down at the dress that was wrapped tightly around myself. I could still feel the warmth from Mia's body and smell a faint trace of her scent. I had never worn a girl's clothes except for my sister's. I felt my face starting to blush. I heard footsteps getting closer and closer to the door. But then they started moving away. A few minutes later, I saw Ye leaving the building through the window. She walked out of the gate, turned to her right, and slowly walked out of my sight. If she kept walking in that direction for another couple of kilometers, she would be on the turf of the Blood Gang. I finally felt relaxed. May the Lord bless you, Ye. Now that Ye got away, I didn't need to worry about my own escape. When I was at the orphanage, I had always been the fastest kid. We used to go up on the hill to hunt rabbits. The other kids would take a whole day, but I only needed 3 hours. I've gotten another achievement, spelling bee. Should I be concerned that rabbits is a dictionary term? A lot of Carlos's dictionary terms, with the exception of pesos, have been pretty bad. Oh, wait, no, we're good. The Mexican rabbit, Romerolagus diazi, also known as the volcano rabbit, is an endangered species endemic to Mexico. The rabbit is only native to 4 volcanoes just south of Mexico City. Iztaccíhuatl, El Pilado, Popocatépetl, and Tlaloc. Ha! Ha! At least I think I got it right. It's been a while since that word showed up. They are commonly found at higher altitudes. Probably altitudes. In pine forests, alder forests, and grasslands around 2,900 to 3,600 meters above sea level. It is the world's second smallest rabbit. It is crepuscular and highly active at twilight, dawn, and all times in between. It lives in groups of 2 to 5 rabbits in burrows, and the total population is estimated to be around 1,200. The most famous rabbit in Mexico is the volcano rabbit, but since it is highly endangered, the rabbits that the locals hunt the most are usually the slightly larger Mexican hares. He's so cute. I ran out of the room and sprinted towards the stairway. The guard noticed me, but before he could make a sound, I had already jumped down an entire flight. I was able to go down to the first floor with just 3 jumps. Are we sure Carlos isn't a rabbit? Or a hare? I ran past the front desk so fast that the newspaper was blown out of the front desk guy's hands. By the time he realized what had just happened, and who that had been, I was already long gone from the auction house. Still, what should I tell Mr. Kwan? I wandered around the streets when I finally noticed people kept giving me strange looks. That was when I realized that I was still wearing Ye's dress. Oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. I lowered my head and walked quickly towards the less crowded part of the street, afraid of being seen. I found myself in a strange alley that I'd never been before. At the end of the alley, there was a small coffee shop. The sign looked like a maple leaf, and it said Maple House on it. I was stunned. I seemed to remember that Alicia had mentioned a place like this in her first few letters. Remember this sooner! Yes, she used to work here. Since Alicia had never mentioned the address of the coffee shop, I had never been able to find it. Okay, fair. Yet here it was. Right here. Finally, I was about to find my big sister Alicia. I ran up the stairs of the coffee shop filled with all of the excitement in the world, but someone suddenly grabbed both my arms from behind. It was a policeman? I thought about it for a while and decided it was too embarrassing to change into a dress just for a sketch. I might as well just stick with the oversized jacket. The golden sunlight from the setting sun shone down upon Mr. Wen and me. It felt warm, but not too warm. Mr. Wen's sketch paper rustled lightly in the breeze, as did his hair. He looked so focused that I had found myself staring at him without even realizing it. Mr. Wen looked up. Our eyes met silently. When I finally came to my senses and lowered my head, my heart had skipped a few beats. The bell rang. I reluctantly handed my sketch to him. If you want to tear it up, go ahead. I had lost count of how many times he had torn up my drawings. Besides, I was actually pretty bad at this. Mr. Wen handed me the sketch. It wasn't mine though, it was his. Was that really me? I was speechless, and I couldn't find a word in my vocabulary to describe it, other than beautiful. I never could have imagined that a person who was always so cold and distant would be able to create something so warm and intimate. Suddenly, an idea came to me. I held the sketch up in his face and pointed at a random spot. There's a serious problem here. Mr. Wen looked at the sketch, puzzled. Before he could take a good look, I took the sketch back. I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my class. Oh. I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my class. I imitated his tone, took a few steps back, then tore up the sketch and threw the pieces into the trash. What a sound effect! What a historical moment! I finally turned the tables on him! I quickly ran out of the classroom. Thinking back on how many of my sketches he had shredded, I felt great about getting back at him. Well, that was rank S for both of them. I don't like how this... I don't like how this took a slightly... romantic drama overtone. For the two Wens. Meanwhile, Carlos has found Maple House and has possibly met Jack? Is it really a good idea for a gang member to meet a policeman? I mean, with that, we've got the best ending for both Lee Wen and Carlos. And here's some more letters. That looks like Alicia.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
Oh, there we go. It's Alicia and Lee Wen. The game just flipped out on me for a bit. And this time Lee Wen and Alicia are connected. We still don't have a solution for Gyeongmin and Baekhyun here though. I'm really curious how we'll get to eventually solve this. Because there's like no way I can solve this. And I really want to find out what's going on with Baekhyun. We'll see all of that next time. But for now, at this point... Oh, look at how long this timeline is. At this point, out of all the characters we've met, Spotty's my favorite, but Baekya is the person whose story I'm most interested in. What is his mysterious past? How did he get a second personality? You're not allowed to die until I find that out. Gyeongmin's troubles has mostly been about him trying to live up to his ideals of justice. And finding that it's just a little hard for everything to come out the way you want it to. We've only had one story from Spotty, which was saving their daddy. Alicia has had a tumultuous life. And next time we'll be continuing with what happens after she was kidnapped again, presumably not turned into a human stick. Carlos went from good boy in Mexico to bad boy in Hong Kong. Park Sang-gun, who we still don't have a picture of, but has described himself as blonde and blue-eyed, has a very tragic and troubled story. Being a child who grew up in a household filled with domestic abuse. Oops, should be circling Park Sang-gun there. Jimmy's just Jimmy. We don't like to talk about Jimmy here. Lee Wen could very well be the star of one of the Armory's dramas. And Wen Zhao-ren seems to be having a pretty okay time with it after he did not die. We haven't heard from Zhao-ren in a long time. But life goes where it goes. And where the game has taken us is back to Lee Wen and Alicia. So we'll see what's going on with the only two ladies in the cast so far next time. For now, have a great night. Don't fuck your teachers. We'll see you then.